Hey, welcome back to my channel, guys. I am live tonight with Mr. Jake Truemper. Is that how you say it?
Trumper. It's close,
Trumper.
close. I've gotten that since I was a kid. It always made me feel like really cool. I was like, "Hey, I'm the kid with the cool last name. Look how quirky I am." Jake. So, yeah,
Y-
so far so
y-
good.
yeah, I thought it was Truemper because that's the way it's spelled, but
Yeah.
Trumper, you must be a Trump fan then, yeah?
Yeah, the E always throws people off. And then I'm actually a radio DJ, but since my last name's Trumper, I wasn't allowed to use that last name because it makes it sound like I am like a Trump fan. And they're like, we can't sound biased. So they specifically said no, no to that. So yeah.
So then what's your DJ name for the radio station?
Just JT, just the basic just JT.
Oh, that's not too bad. And you got some famous JTs out there that tend to add some cred to that initials.
Yeah, like Justin Timberlake. I like to think I me and him are very similar. I can't sing at all or do absolutely anything that he can, but yeah, definitely feel connected.
I mean, technically both of you could be dating, Britney Spears. You're both capable of that.
I don't even know how old is Britney Spears now.
In her 30s, I think.
Holy cow. Already okay, that's not that old. I don't mean to make that sound like that's old. That's only like 10 years older than me, but that's
Come,
just
Jake, your age is showing and you're making me feel old because I'm 33.
Oh, dang. Oh, there's no way Britney Spears is only 30 years old.
No, I think she's a little bit older than me. She's probably like 30. She might be 33, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Should
I think she is. I'm hitting the Google right now on my
are you
computer
gonna
to
fact
see.
are you gonna fact check it or
And I just check her age because I don't even know for crying out loud. But I gotta think she's in her 30s.
there's no way.
81, 81. So she's 36.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. So I guess that's not that bad. That's not bad at all.
I mean, you'd hit it, right?
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen a Britney Spears thing, and when I used to be in elementary school, I had like those like really crappy like they weren't like iPods, but they were like these like crappy little
Zune.
iPod like things. Yeah, yeah, whatever that was. And then I'd listen to them, and I had a Britney Spears song, and I used that one a lot.
Yeah, so how'd you get into radio then? Because I mean, I tried for a while because I did weddings and stuff like that,
Hmm.
DJing, and I was like, you know what, I'd like to get on a radio station, but it was a pain in the ass where I lived.
Honestly, I just got lucky with it. They randomly were just they did this thing. They did a quote unquote boy band with the morning show because the morning show is the most popular thing, right?
Of course.
And they were like, "We're gonna make a boy band," and then randomly I got in, and they were like, "Okay," and I just used that as like a stepping ladder, and eventually got really lucky and got a part-time job here. And then after like a month, I was like, "Hey, I see there's an opening for the overnight. Can I have it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I just randomly got this job. I was just on the right place, right time.
So do you guys do what genre?
It's all pop. We play a lot of pop music, but we played one BTS song. So I guess BTS has definitely become like a part of me now. So I might as well talk about BTS. It was definitely like it's a K-pop group, right? So I hate K-pop personally. I absolutely hate K-pop, but I like BTS. They're a little bit different. They're a pretty interesting group. But we played one of their songs, and then one of the like K-pop groups in Iowa found us, and then I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play it for you." And then all of a sudden, I started getting like a lot of tweets and everything at me, and then I was like, "Okay, sure." And then I got a bunch of followers for playing K-pop music, and I was like, "All right, I like BTS." So far, yeah, BTS is awesome.
Oh, it's a boy band out of Korea.
Yes, yes, it's a K-pop group out of South Korea.
Yeah, because I see a lot of your fans, man, have that in their bio and other stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is BTS? And I don't want to search it because it'll fuck with my algorithm and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I've always there's some of their music is actually like super catchy and I've enjoyed it. It's a lot better than some of the stuff we play here at Z. Uh but overall it gets a little spammy on Twitter because they do a lot of voting stuff. Um
mhm.
but like they'll just every single time you have to vote for something, and I feel like if I don't at least like vote once, they're gonna like disown me and be like, "You're terrible, you're banned." So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's vote for BTS. So then that kind of boosts that. So it's a lot of on Twitter, it's a lot more spammy. It's a lot more like vote BTS, but then their music overall I enjoy, and the fans are pretty normal. You get some crazy fans. I've gotten a few comments on my reaction videos to BTS that are full of a lot a lot of hate on those ones.
Is it because you commented negatively or
No,
they just took something?
it was just like I react to it with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend like looks away from the camera a few times, and people are just like, "She terrible person. I hate her." And I was like, okay. Then one time I like talked a lot, and they're like, "You're watching it too much. You're not letting her enjoy it. Learn to shut up." And I was like, okay, sorry." And then another one was like they just like get really offended. Some people just kind of go a little overboard and get really offended and kind of try to insult.
Yeah, and do you think that's what blew up your channel, right? Because I think when I first came across you, we were fairly close to the same size,
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
out of nowhere, you fucking exploded.
yeah. It was definitely. I remember like my most viewed video was like 10,000 views, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" It was a skit I did, and then later that got a little bit more like clout and notice. But the thing that really launched the channel was my reaction to a BTS song, and I overall just like fell in love with BTS, the K-pop group. But their fans were just super loyal, and it like just randomly boosted up my channel. I gained like 3,000 subs in a day, and after that, it just kind of kept going.
Jesus. Well, and I mean, we did a collab with
Yeah.
together, and I reposted it on my page, and I got I don't know if it was one of your fans, right? Who bought
Oh my gosh, this let me tell you about this person. Holy cow. So this person is he's very interesting. So he's a BTS fan and I've gotten to know him. Uh Overall, he's like a nice innocent person, but he thinks he understands how like bots work. And the worst thing to ever try to do is bot a YouTube account. Like that stuff you're not going to be able to bot if you bot like subscribers the views aren't going to add up. That's not going to add up. It's going to be obvious. If you try to bot views, it's going to be completely obvious because you're going to get like 10,000 views, and then next thing you know, you're at like back down to 100 because there's no bots. Like YouTube has been doing really well with getting rid of bots, which is really cool. There was actually a thing recently with YouTube where they were trying to clear out some bots, and people were getting really offended. And Twitter does that too. And recently, this guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bot this bought Jake's Twitter, and I randomly went from 9,100 followers up to 15,000 within like an hour.
Jesus.
And I was like, yeah, there's something wrong here. So I had to contact Twitter, and then they take it away. But my thing has just been completely messed up ever since then. I've dealt with I'll go from 9,100 to 9,700 back down to 9,100 within the course of like 2 days. And just like, it's just been kind of annoying for the past week and a half now because I'm just dealing with my follower count just looks absolutely ridiculous. And it just makes me look, it's bad. Bots are bad. Never bought anything. It's not worth it. It's going to be a waste of money for something that doesn't even look good. So it just overall, I appreciated what he's trying to do, but it was terrible.
Yeah, and it also it's just one of those things where that video still has all the thumbs up on it, but I mean, thankfully the thumbs up are bigger than the views, but that's like my rank. That's my highest ranked thumbs up video, and like I got
Oh
some,
no,
but I don't care. They never took away the thumbs up. I'll keep it.
that's really interesting. I think yeah, I don't think YouTube really can take away likes. It's the same way that how like the likes generate faster than the views. Like if you watch like a drama alert video or a PewDiePie video, if you're one of the first people to watch it, it'll be like 3,000 likes with 4 views. It's because the views just don't load as fast.
Yeah.
So, and apparently they don't pick up on bot likes, I guess, because if they're not taking them down, then yeah, it's probably bot likes, and dislikes are another very common thing. Like getting a bot dislike is people will do that if they like hate someone. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna bot you with dislikes." I know Twitch has been trying to crack down on that, but YouTube has a really bad thing of that going on.
Yeah, and the one thing that well, it didn't, I was just like, because I hit you up and I'm like, what the fuck happened out of nowhere? My video has like 3,000 views and a shit ton of likes, and then you're like, oh, one of my followers happens to be from India and
Yeah,
works for a
just
company that bots.
it's just absolutely crazy. I was like, why? And I was like, I appreciate your help, but you like they should know it's not going to work. Like they work there, they know it's kind of a scam. So maybe they, because I noticed like you were up to like what, like 3,000 views, but then it went down to the normal like what was it like 1,000?
Yeah, I think it was right around 1,000.
Yeah, so like it went back down to the normal amount, but it was just absolutely just like I was like, it's not going to work. You work there. Why do you do it?
And it's just funny because you do actually see creators who will buy views and they will use that method to get them some sort of notice, but it in the long run it does jack shit for
I
you.
I just don't see how that like works because honestly, from my experience with the bots, it doesn't work. Like it just makes you look terrible. Like all of a sudden I'll be like, wow, this like when he first started following me, I was like, wow, this video got like 30,000 views. That's wild. And then I would kind of go back and it'd be like, oh, just kidding, it got 2,000 views. And I don't know how creators successfully use bots without it dropping because YouTube's algorithm has gotten much better.
Yeah, and just the fact that the numbers that they sell them for, because I've been like, oh, good ways to grow your channel, and it's like those things will pop up, the further you go into Google, and it's like, oh, $5 for 1,000 followers, and I'm like, dude, what does this do for you? One, they're not going to watch your video, and
Yeah.
two,
So then you just
like,
look absolutely terrible because it'll be like you have 1,100 followers, subscribers, and you get what, 20 views? That,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, obviously YouTube's going to put it together and think you're doing something shady.
yeah. And that's a great way to get your like channel banned, to get your channel in trouble is by using bots. It's never a good way it's just, it's not worth it. And it's the same thing with Twitter. It's like, oh, this person's got 300,000 followers and is getting 22 likes. Yeah, that's believable.
Yeah, and so what I was wondering is what, because you started in what, September? Is that rightfully when you started?
I started around October. I'd say
Oh
mid-October, I think
God,
is when that
you
was there.
you make me feel even worse about my channel.
Like I said,
Jesus,
I got so lucky with it. Do you ever watch Critical at all?
I don't think I have.
So he's one of my favorite YouTubers. He does a thing called the Official Podcast, and he's been around for like 11 years. Just hit a little over 2 million subscribers. Really cool guy, and I've always looked up to him. And me and the band Running in Place, I think they did they just comment in the chat. I'm my things. I'm trying to like moderate through my phone, but I'm not keeping up to date. Yeah, yeah, there they are. So they're tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. They're a local band, and I was like, guys, we should make videos singing about YouTubers. And they're like, okay, sure. And we actually got noticed by Keemstar hated it. Keemstar hated our song for him. And I was like, okay, okay, cool. Then we made one for PewDiePie, and that one did get noticed. But we made one for the Official Podcast, which was one of my favorite YouTubers. And they liked it so much. A few of the podcast guys followed me. They added me like to their personal Discord and stuff. So it's like it's really cool. Like I've actually gotten to know like YouTubers I used to look up to as a kid. So it's definitely just been a lot of luck. I've gotten really lucky.
Yeah, and I think that's where like I've grown at lately is I've been making a lot of connections with different YouTubers and doing the shows on a regular like this and then doing created content on my Wednesday Thursdays as usual allows me to build relationships and have conversations with people from all spectrums of the world.
It's really cool. I mean, that's what I've always appreciated about it. Is just like once you finally find something that starts working, like your live videos. Like I've been watching them, and they definitely seem to be doing well. And it's something that is success. Like once you find what works, it starts boosting you.
Yeah, and so why did you start YouTube? Like you personally, what brought you over to the platform?
Honestly, so when I first started working at a radio station, I work full time, 6 hours every day. And but out of those 6 hours, I'm only talking for maybe 30 minutes total. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched H3H3, Critical. I just watched all these big YouTubers, Jack's Films. And one day I was like, I want to do this. I want to try this. So honestly, my inspirations were probably Jack's Film, H3H3, and Critical. And I just kind of fell in love with it. Then I saw Drama Alert, and I was like, wow, YouTube is actually like this big community I didn't even know about. It was absolutely amazing. So I was like, I'm gonna try this. So one of the guys I work with, his name is John Cardos. I was like, hey, make some videos with me, and we just started randomly making videos. Didn't really go anywhere. We had one video that did well on Reddit in the small YouTuber community that got us boosted up to like our first 1,000 subscribers, which was just mind-boggling to me. And the next thing you know, we randomly got lucky and got the BTS thing, and then me and Cardos ended the our little videos together because he needed to focus more on work, and then I started doing YouTube.
Did you got shout out too from Keemstar, right?
Yes, that's also I like I said I've had two encounters with Keemstar. One time when he called into my radio show, super nice. I talked to like the real Keemstar, like the real version of him, the one that's not all like boosted up, jokingly giving hate. It was super cool. It was just something that was absolutely awesome. But then my second interaction with him was making a song where we kind of poked fun at him a little bit. And I think with his like persona, I don't blame him for what he said. Like it was pretty funny. I was like pretty upset you didn't see our song, and he's like, I did see it. I wasn't impressed. I was like, okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fine. That's fair. So he did shout me out once, but yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that exchange and I thought it was pretty. I mean, honestly, if he would have actually looked and listened to the song and heard, you just needed to enunciate in one area because he probably thought you were talking shit.
Yeah,
But
definitely, yeah.
but but I mean, other than that, it was a good, conversation and funny to watch like video. But he seems to be kind of egocentric. Keemstar is Keemstar, and sometimes it feels like because people give him that hard time. Oh, good guy Keem versus
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
Keem.
Yes, for sure. It's really interesting because like I said, when I first did the first video of mine that ever even got past 1,000 views was my video with Keemstar. He after that shout out, it was just after that it just kind of all my videos started accumulating views, which was really awesome.
So, someone in the chat wanted to know, do you eat tacos?
I fucking love tacos. I,
Okay.
I oh my god. We in Iowa, obviously we don't have very good places. But we have this one place called La Cantina, and their tacos are like $1, and they're absolutely delicious. And I love tacos.
So, and I'm asking because it's coming up, but have you thought of doing any of the, like going to any of the creator conventions like a VidCon or anything like that?
Probably not. I've never actually like thought of that. Maybe if like more of my videos started doing even better, like if I had one video that like finally passed 100,000 views, or if I could like get up to like 50,000 subscribers, then maybe yes. But for now, probably not.
Oh, come on, man. You got plenty of subscribers. You could throw down a. Well, do you do anything to support your channel in the sense besides monetization? Do you do Patreon or anything where your fans can support you?
So no, I personally don't right now because right now I've always seen Patreon as like a very noble thing. As for like someone who is trying to like create and they want to start a platform, but they might not have the funds for it. Right now, like I work a full-time job, and it's kind of this is just like a part-time thing. It's not something I like. I never felt like I needed the help, extra help. But someday, like if I need a new camera or something, I might think about it. But for now, I've just kind of just also, I'm not actually monetized either.
What?
I've been under review for the past 6 months. So
That was
basic.
before the change, though. So you might want to hit them up because you might want to be one of those people who are sitting in like limbo because you put in for monetization before they changed the rules in April.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. So here's what happened. So basically, the way it worked is when oh, I see Tessa. Hey Tessa. Thanks for tuning in. You're the best. Okay, anyways, back to the thingy. Yes, I was a newer channel and then I randomly got my bumps and had enough stuff so I applied. And then like a month after I applied, they were like, "Sorry, the reviews are taking a while. We're changing up our thing." Then they changed up everything and I was like, "Okay, what are they changing?" And then after they did all the changing, my thing was still in review. I immediately, right when they changed over, had the 4,000 watch hours and the over 1,000 subscribers. So like I had enough and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a breeze. I'm going to have it in like a week." And it's been 6 months now, and I'm still waiting in review.
Yeah, you might want to like send an email or something because it should be past that um by this point because I've heard of other people being in the same point and they have to reach out directly because they're kind of,
Yeah, I noticed that, and then like I'll go to Twitter and I'll look, and people have been commenting back, and they'll be like, when they comment, they'll be like, I have all the Mac, I just reached it, and they're like, we're hoping to review everything by the end of June. So I was giving it till the end of June before I like personally reach out to them.
but then again, like to be honest, like you what's your average? I mean, okay, let's set aside averages. I mean, even if you're missing out on $50 a month, that's
Yeah, it
50
doesn't.
bucks a month.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean, it's
like the
extra
end of the world.
money.
But the extra money would be nice. That's the only thing that it feels like crappy about is like I know I met the standards and it just is like I know my stuff is suitable. Like I don't cuss. I don't do like I keep my stuff pretty family friendly.
Ah, fuck that.
Yeah, I've cussed a few times, obviously, but like overall, um, I just haven't. I just know like it should be monetizable, so I just have been kind of annoyed that I've been in review for so long.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of your fans are, you know, younger because of, what popped you off and stuff. But like, whereas for me, like, honestly, I'm aiming at monetization, but I can see what the community does and I see how many people are, you know, non-monetized who speak about the things I do. So mine, that's why I was asking about Patreon and stuff like that, because I'm aiming
Yeah,
at Patreon and things where people want to, help and create directly to the creator. Because honestly, I'd like to get an editor for my created content and have someone just focus on that so I can, just create a ton of shit,
yeah. I actually there's actually like a few things that I've been working on, but you might as well share. I We're actually working on a Patreon. It was really funny that you were talking with John in the Jawbreakers about Jawbreakers because I actually work with a few animators as well with a comic, and we're actually been like talking about starting a Patreon for that. So
Oh, nice.
that's the closest thing we've come to starting a Patreon. But that's been in the works, and then I've been working with he's also a kind of a bigger YouTuber. Always had a dream of like making comics. So me and my friend Markel and a few of our animators got into contact with him. So we've been working on a project with him, and then plan on working on our own project as well and starting Patreon for that.
That's awesome. And I mean, pulling the reason why I was able to interact with John, and honestly, I really like the guy and I like the mindset and what they're doing, was because of a few streams that I've been involved with, and they're rebranding their stream name because they want to be more user friendly. And it was the
Oh,
cunt stream, is what it's called, but it's not
mm.
about user friendly. You're all right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's just a solid name, very solid name.
Well, because one, it doesn't pre-populate. If you search the cunt stream, it doesn't populate. One, that's the issue. And then they almost
Yeah,
had on Ethan Van uh
Van Dyke.
Shiver
Oh, not Shiver. Why was I thinking?
Van
I was thinking of.
Skyer Van
Okay, yeah,
Dyke.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I was thinking of like Dick Van Dyke. I guess I don't know what I was thinking, but
But yeah, Ethan Van Shiver, who is the creator behind DC Universe Rebirth, Green Lantern
oh,
Corps.
I fucking love the DC Rebirth. I love comics. I'm a huge comic fan, and I loved DC Rebirth. So yeah, yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so they were going to have him on, but then he thought they were trolling because of the name of the stream.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I
No,
could definitely see that then. Yeah, I could see where it'd be hard to get people.
yeah, and so they're rebranding. They're trying to come up with a new name for it. So that's where I met John Mallon and or Malin, and he is a really cool guy, and I'll probably be having him um, on again, and probably Brett Smith, who does he does Jawbreakers. He is I believe he's the colorist for them. So Malin does the art. Uh, Brett Smith, I believe, does the color, and then I'm going to have him on as well very soon to talk Jawbreakers and the craziness behind it and everything. And
Nice.
this
That's
this
actually really awesome.
yeah, and this guy's done the color for shoot, dude. He's done the color for trying to think. Hulk, Flash, X-Men, Batman, Suicide Squad. Like he's all over the place. Nightwing, like Avengers. Like the guy has been all over the
Holy
industry.
cow, that's actually wild. Oh my God. That would be freaking awesome to have it. Like it's crazy. I'm pretty big. I've definitely leaned more towards DC. And yeah, I liked New 52 as well. I see in the comments someone said I missed New 52. I liked New 52. That was pretty good. That was a solid tease. But I just have loved the Rebirth, and I love Watchmen, and Nightwing's always been a solid character. It's I've always been more of the DC fan. So anyone that works with DC has got huge props in my eyes.
Yeah, and so you have these people who basically got ousted out of the industry because of their stance in the political realm. So
Which is crazy.
they're right leaning, and even though they're amazing artists and all this, the I mean Marvel has hit a very progressive stance on things, and so you have them getting ousted. And you know what they said? Hey, this guy, diversity in comics. He's a big YouTuber, and he actually wants to do his own book, and so he started the Indiegogo. And his channel was comic reviews and stuff, and he would call out the shenanigans of like the progressives and how they were screwing with the industry and stuff.
Jeez, that I mean, I guess like I know you like talking politics, but I've never been like the biggest guy for talking politics. I've never been like going into a situation where I'm like I'm going to talk politics. But it's I can definitely recognize where it's dangerous to talk about that kind of stuff, especially when like in the world we live in now, it's very some people we have very far left, and obviously we have very far right as well. But it's just like when you start having the like owners of companies be that very far left or very far right, that's when you start getting troubles. A moderate Democrat or a moderate Republican or libertarian or whatever you are, usually you can have like a normal conversation with them. But then you just have these people who keep trying to like correct, and it gets to the point where it's like if you don't agree with them, you're a Nazi, and it's just absolutely wild. Or like if you speak your belief, you immediately they're like you're a Nazi, you're fired. It's wild.
Yeah, and I think it's getting a little extreme in those regards where you can't even have a stance or say things like we should hire people based on merit, and that has gotten people ousted out of the comic book industry because it doesn't fit their narrative and it's not pushing, super progressive mentality. So I don't know, man. I just wish for once, like Marvel, like was amazing. I loved Marvel back in the day.
Yeah, they did. Great. Like, I've never been like the diehard Trump fan. I've never been all about that. But it's absolutely crazy that Marvel went and made Trump a villain. I don't know if you heard about that, but they actually made a comic series where like Trump was a bad guy.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was it was absolutely great. I was like, how could you go and try to take that liberty where you try to make like a presidential candidate a villain. Like that shows no respect. You might disagree with the guy, but you can never like a serious like that's. I was just absolutely baffled. Like I was lost for words when it came to that because I was like, I have very liberal friends who were like, yes, make him the villain. But I was like, well, if he becomes your president, that's going to be really awkward for you guys. So it was very interested. It was just kind of an interesting take, I guess. One I did not agree with.
He's pretty much my stalker slash he follows me on every stream and talks shit to me.
Those people are the best.
His name's Stone Mexican Guy, and Stoned Mexican Guy. He said, "We need the wall, master portion, deportation, no welfare, and more racial profile." I voted for Trump.
Oh, dude, man, more power to you. Like, my biggest thing is I might not agree with Stone Mexican Guy, but it's the free country. Say what you want. That's what I love. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is like if you're not massively into politics, but if you can at least have a civil conversation with people. I know you are Mexican Guy, and have like interactions without getting mad at them because they have a different view than you. That's how it
Yeah.
needs to be, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was going for Gary Johnson. Granted, I know my vote was wasted. Yes, I know, but I just kind of voted for what I believed in. I wasn't a Trump supporter, but I wasn't a Hillary supporter either. So I was like, rather than choose the lesser of two evils in both parties' eyes, I was just going to pick what I believed in.
Yeah, and so I mean, then you and I mean, you don't have to answer this because some of your fans are in here. Then do you believe in smoking? Are you a decriminalized marijuana kind of person?
One sec. Excuse me. You know, my girlfriend is very supportive of that. I guess I'll put that there. She's very supportive of the legalization of marijuana, and I can definitely understand the benefits of it. The fact of like the way being able to put a tax on it. I honestly think it'd be there's a lot of benefits to it rather than what we're doing right now. Right now we're spending on money. We're spending money to like put people in jail for it rather than making money off of like taxing it.
Well, and especially when it's not as bad as cigarettes are for you, you know?
Oh, of course. I absolutely hate cigarettes. That stuff is still crazy to me. How people are like, it's cigarettes. Yeah, it's totally legal. That's fine. But weed, you're going to hell for that. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, one's going to get you there a lot faster, but okay.
Well, I have the bad habit of being a smoker of cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my vice. But I understand the logic that that's going to have a lot more harm on me than marijuana.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't like ever make anyone a bad person. Someone who smokes cigarettes. I mean, my girlfriend is actually just getting done like over smoking cigarettes. It's definitely something that's not like it doesn't make you a bad person, and it's just kind of something where you kind of just it's something that's familiar and you get attached to. And I know plenty of people who smoke. I've just personally the way that it's affected my life has always been negative, so I've just always hated it.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you grew up around it and family members smoked, it can have, yeah, you know, you can have bad influence from it and everything. I thankfully am gonna plan on quitting very soon. I just need to find something to motivate me to because it's damn near as addictive as some crazy ass drugs out there, and yet
Yes.
it's legal, more legal than weed.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy to me. Plus, like when you quit, it has some pretty crappy side effects. It makes you kind of hard to bear sometimes. You're much more easily angered.
Oh yeah, you definitely within your first 3 to 7 days, you're going to be hitting a wall where you're
Mm-hmm.
antsy. You want a cigarette because the cravings are there, and you know, like it'll make you shake.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but this talk of smoke when excuse me, talking of like smoking just like makes my throat just like naturally dry. I'm just like, I don't know why. I'm just never good experiences with it, man.
Well, I will tell you this: I quit for shit 6 months. Life kicked me in the dick. I went back to it, but I will tell you, and if there's any smokers in the chat, food tastes 10 times better when you're not smoking.
I yes, yeah. I used to watch George Lopez as a kid, and the mom was always like a smoker. And one of the jokes was she was eating something really gross, and she's like, "I've been smoking my whole life. All my taste buds are dead." So I was like, "Oh, interesting."
Yeah, I don't know. My father smoked on it forever and like all that shit. I didn't start until I was like 21, which was stupid of me. I wish I would have never started. But when you work in a high stress area and someone's like, "Oh, you want to go have a smoke and some coffee?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." And then you taste coffee and cigarettes together and you're like, "Oh, this is good together." But I don't know. It's my vice. I honestly think there's so many things in the world that are less bad for you, but they're illegal compared to cigarettes and alcohol and other stuff.
Yes, it's honestly wild. Like I understand like how excuse me. I understand like where people are like justify cigarettes and stuff because again, it's the fact of like it's not. I mean, besides secondhand smoke, it's not affecting you, so why should you care? Kind of scenario. But it's kind of just like it can damage the people around you as well. So it's an interesting topic.
Yeah. So and you said you do you lean libertarian or did you just happen to vote libertarian in the last election?
I when someone says they lean libertarian, the Libertarian Party has a lot wrong with it. To be honest, there's a divide in it. I guess there's a lot that people don't agree on within the Libertarian Party. I'm not sure how up to date you are with it, but there's you could have one libertarian who's very conservative, one libertarian that's very liberal, and then they just do not clash well. So Libertarian Party is very broad, but yes, I'd say I lean more libertarian.
So then the stuff like decriminalizing the tighten your spending, but being aware of social issues and stuff like
Yes,
that.
honestly, the reason the Libertarian Party has always grabbed my attention is it's not half and half. You're not half Republican, half Democrat. It's just Libertarian Party is like we care about where our money's going. Everything else, we don't fucking care. We don't care. Just wherever we care about where America's money's going, but what our neighbors doing, we don't really care. As long as you're not killing anybody, you're fine. Go do whatever. So I've always kind of just gotten that because I've never been a person who likes to be in other people's business. But I can understand where like there's religious people who stand by it. So as long as you're not a hypocrite with your religion, stand by whatever beliefs you have. I honestly don't care what beliefs people have. If they want to judge other people, you do you. I'm gonna do me. That's kind of just been my motto.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to the reason I was asking that because I'm going to be having a actual representative from the state of New Hampshire on at some point, and he's a libertarian, and he's in their
Interesting.
lower house. Yeah, so he's an actual like government rep for the state of New Hampshire, and he is libertarian. So I'm going to be having him on at some point. I was just curious what your stance was because you brought up the Gary Johnson and everything, and I think that for most people like centrists and stuff, it will lean that way too. Like a lot
Yeah.
of centrists are there because I would call myself a centrist because I
Mm-hmm.
float depending on the situation, depending on what what moves me and what I stand for. Because I'll go right a lot of the time. I do lean right a lot of the time because I believe that my money should be my money. Stop dicking around in my money, please.
Oh, exactly. Yes. Yeah, yeah. And that's what I've always appreciated about the Libertarian Party is the whole like we care about where the money goes, otherwise whatever, which I've always really appreciated.
Yeah, and like you have this huge shift, and you could see how divisive alt centrist, yeah.
Yeah.
You have this huge divisive issue in our country right now because we only have two parties, and
Yeah.
I think if we
It
had a third viable party, it might lighten up some of the divisiveness.
it I 100% agree. But the sad thing is my girlfriend went to college for like politics or whatever. I having these conversations with her, she always absolutely destroys me. But she she's pointed out to me like it's been this way for 150 years and it's going to keep being this way. It sucks, but it's hard. People don't like change, and the thing that like she just absolutely wrecked my life when she was just like, if the founding fathers saw what was happening today, they'd be very disappointed. James Madison had so many ideas for this country, and we kind of, if there's one thing Democrats and Republicans agree on, it's they don't want a fifth party. They are a third party. They want two parties, and that's why it is that way. Is they're both such powerhouses that disagree on everything. So when they come together on one thing they agree on, that one thing is or is not happening.
Oh yeah, it's set in stone essentially.
Yeah. It
So so I know you don't dive into politics, but do you with your YouTube and stuff, are you, because I know what you are, but for anyone who doesn't know you, you're doing skit-based comedy. Like what would you describe your channel?
I do what makes me happy.
Oh,
I'm gonna do the most random stuff. What I'm interested in that week. So, my next video actually I'll share when I finally come back, and probably my first video is gonna be out on like Thursday with the band running in place. But then I do a few things. I do skits, I do music, and then I do a dumb guy's opinion, where I just give my opinion on things. And my next thing is gonna actually be about Amy Schumer. I know how much everyone loves Amy Schumer. I commented on an Amy Schumer video,
God no.
and I was like, "Why do I hate Amy Schumer?" And I just wanted to see how fan bases react that way, and it was absolutely wild. There was so much hate, and I was like, "This is awesome." So I'm making a video about that. I screenshotted all the responses, and so honestly, I just do stuff. And when I find something I liked, I'll come up with a dumb idea. I'll be like, what if I made a video about chickens, a skit about chickens? I call up some of my friends. I'm like, guys, let's make a video. And we just make a video. So that's
Yeah,
what I like to do.
see, and that's dude, the freedom of like because I don't have yeah, someone's Deus is one of my mods. He goes, you've met him. He goes by Sicko. He helps me with my videos. He's been in my gaming videos. He obviously saw you were talking about Amy Schumer and it was all gross.
Gross. Yeah, no. Oh my God. Yeah, it's, oh, no, I totally, I honestly, personally, I've never had anything too much against her. The thing that made me start genuinely not liking her was the fact of like she's been like super popular for like the past like 4 to 5 years now, but she has debatably gotten less funny. She refuses to grow as a comedian. You go and watch famous comedians' first show, they've grown, they've taken criticism and they put it towards their stuff and they grow as people. She will get criticism and I automatically be like, you're an alt right, making the alt right be like, all right, well, now we hate you even more because you're calling people that don't even represent our belief us. So it's, she refuses to grow. And that's what made me kind of hate her. And her fan base refuses to grow. They insult like children and they act like her. They act like children. They refuse to grow up.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that is can anyone in chat take a guess who Amy Schumer's main fans are? I mean, everyone here should know. Progressives. Progressives are her fans. Like she pushes the that's why she pushes the alt-right stuff now. That's why she pushes the conservative hate and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it, I mean, at least she knows her audience. She knows that she'll never have to grow as a person for her audience, which is easy. She found a sweet spot, but it's also, it's just annoying. It was just wild. I was just blown away by how angry people got.
yeah, and the question is how long can you make jokes about your vagina before everyone knows you're just going to tell jokes about your vagina?
Yeah, which honestly, if a female comedian wants to make jokes about her vagina, completely fine. Plenty of male comedians make jokes about their dicks, but it's like those male comedians aren't getting Netflix specials. They're not getting noticed. They're not getting big, and if they are, they're not making that much. So for Amy Schumer to be like, "Why am I not making as much as Kevin Smith or Dave Chappelle?" It's like because you're doing the lowest form of comedy. You should be making as much as the guys who rely on dick jokes make, and they don't make very much. So it's kind of like that. It's like I will never judge anyone based off of the jokes they make because there's millions of other comedians doing it too. But if you're gonna make those jokes and then be like, "I'm the best," no, shut up.
Well, and if and like the analytics just show Chris Rock and her will never be on the same level, neither with Dave Chappelle or these other people. And she has this misconception like she's God's gift to comedy. No, motherfucker, you're not.
Yeah, it's wild. Again, refusing to grow up. She kind of lied to herself and was like, "I'm the greatest," and she refuses to take criticism.
Exactly. So thoughtful troopers in the chat wanted to know, Jake, who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Okay, I feel like they should know this, but all right, cool. They follow me on Twitter. I know who they are. They're one of my friends. Friends is I'm acquaintances. I know Boba Fett or Darth Maul. Two kind of like quieter characters, and I've just always appreciated that. Is when there's this big of a universe in the Star Wars universe, there's a lot to be said, but they kind of just keep themselves and get the job done. They kill a bunch of people and get the job done.
Yeah, and I would go with I don't know, I'm a big Han Solo guy or
Uh, Are you excited for the Solo movie then? The Han
oh
Solo movie coming out?
God no. God no. The only good thing in that's going to be freaking Donald Glover. Everything else is going to be trash. That guy does not even spark resemblance to me of Han Solo or the way the character was developed by, shit, I'm spacing his name right now.
George
Harrison
Lucas or
Ford.
Harrison
Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely mind-boggling. Just the fact that the actor that they chose, I've heard a lot of stuff like that the actor's a dick, and it's like, come on, Star Wars. There's plenty of other like nice actors who look slightly more like him. Maybe pick the one that everyone doesn't hate.
Yeah, that. And I mean, a lot of people didn't like Harrison Ford when he was younger, but the problem
Hmm.
becomes if you're having a hard time emulating or carrying his bravado, you're probably not right for the role in the long run.
Yeah.
And they had to do a lot of reshoots because of that kid.
Wait, they did. I didn't hear about that. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why the movie got pushed back many times, and that's why they had to do reshoots and all kinds of shit. And they lost their director at one point.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
great. Yeah.
Days Volt says Jar Jar is Bay.
No, no. You know what? Honestly,
I,
I,
I
I,
like
I never like hated Jar Jar. I don't like deathly hate Jar Jar, to be fair. But he's not that great. He's
I think the fan theories behind him being an actual Sith
that made
and
him.
him that definitely made him more viable. Plus,
Oh, that made
him
him
being
so
force
much better.
sensitive. Yeah,
That made him such a cool character. It made me so much more excited about it.
yeah, and there's the Phil because it came like people came up with these theories quite a while later, and it's like maybe he was supposed to be like the one who betrays him, and the way he does stuff is very shady. And who in the
Oh yeah,
who in the fuck in his gene pool or those things could do that? Only him, you
yeah,
know?
exactly. So I think that would have been an amazing concept. But it's whatever. I personally thought it was cool, but they apparently they did not. So we're stuck
Well,
with
what
crappy Jar Jar.
well, what I gotta say is okay, so he became a prop set piece pretty much because he was written in and people hated him after the first movie.
Yeah, so then he just stood there.
Yeah, exactly. And he was very like minimal. I don't know. It's not as bad as Hayden Christian playing freaking goddamn Darth Vader.
Anakin, yeah.
Oh god.
I feel he got so much hate for that. That
But
was absolutely incredible.
but the only person that should play Obi-Wan in the movie that they are talking about making is Ewan McGregor. He's old enough and it's a
Oh,
good time frame in between.
that's the only way I would enjoy that movie is if they did that. That's the only way I would enjoy it.
And I think that's
Is it
what a lot of people are saying too.
He would do such a good job. He did such a good job. He was one of the best part of the prequels. He truly made like I mean I enjoy the prequels no matter what. I'm actually a pretty big prequels fan. I've always enjoyed them, but he would make that movie so enjoyable.
And so, did you get introduced to Star Wars from the prequels, or did you see them before because someone introduced you? Because you're, 20, so
Yeah, I actually my dad was watching it, and I was introduced to it episode three, which was a really weird one to start with because it was like awesome Jedi, and then all of a sudden the awesome Jedi were getting killed by a bunch of like white soldiers. So I was just super confused and super devastated.
yeah. Oh man, so what? I know you gotta head into work shortly, so
Hmm.
what I was gonna ask is, where can people find you besides the links down below, guys? There are links in the description, but you want to shill your stuff a little bit?
Yeah. I'm on YouTube. Just Jake Trumper, but it's spelled Truemper, so Truemper. Then I'm on Twitter, same name. Uh, I'm on Instagram, same name. Uh, it's just that, and I just kind of post the dumbest things I can think of that I enjoy.
And so soon we'll have to, do another collab. Jake actually did a collab with me for my Twitter suspension, talking shit to me. And then we had done a collab before that for his, what, 20? Was it your 20,000?
Um,
15,000?
I think it was 6 months on YouTube.
6 months. Yeah, but you were at like almost 20,000 at that point.
Yeah. I think it was about 20,000, which was crazy for me. I was so
Yeah, and
excited.
so if you guys are fans of me and you like good creators who, enjoy their audience and actually interact with their audience on Twitter, go check out his channel and his Twitter. And always, if you are new to my channel and you enjoy conversations with people of all political views, all walks of life, different creators, throw a subscription on the channel. I know this was a little shorter, but Jake's got to get in to work and, play some top 50 music for the world. And I will see you
Yeah.
guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.